Just so if you guys remember last game, um, wait, it was outsiders with the puck, right? And they picked the puck and the Bane at the same time. And my first
Mhm.
question was like, why not get puck tiny? Why
Yeah.
do you get puck Bane if you have such a strong combo? And they do get that with the puck tiny. You have ways of breaking the coil. You have a hero that's very aggressive on the mid lane, and Tiny loves those heroes, so he can rotate in. I think their opening is pretty solid. Not taking anything away from outsiders, it's also looking decent.
Outsiders banning out that IO as well as the snap. And Navi banning out a triptych of the Ember, Visage, and Nakes, with Outsiders picking up a Shadow Shaman. We're not seeing a huge amount of that. Why would they be picking up that here? Not great against the clock.
Take it, Trent. It's
Yeah, some quality rush potential. I mean, I'm a Shaman fan. It's downsize of Shaman, pretty weak laner overall. I mean, unless he's in the 4. He's like a weak 5, but like with the right pairing in the 4, he can be really strong. So he's kind of has a little dichotomy going on there. But then it's all about still roshing. That's always great. Taking towers. And if you have a mid coddle, particularly, it is going to be rough to take towers. So it seems to me like they might be committing to that with these two. But again, still flexibility is possible between the Doom, the coddle, and the Shaman.
plus you have the puck, right? Like you get that Kotl and Doom 0 catch, Shadow Shaman instant hex, shackles, sounds good. But he's playing into not only the Wolf but the Clockwork as well.
Which can cancel the shackles, of course. Is
No, he
that
can
a
just
tricky...
kill you. Like you kill him.
Yeah.
That's how you cancel it. You hook him and he's gone.
That is the
strategy.
easiest way to cancel any channeling spell. Just kill the channeler. 100% there. Navi picking up that clock and Lycan, as we just discussed. What's the draft gearing up towards, do you think? TA there on Outsiders.
Yeah. No, it's kind of obvious, right? This should be your TA into the puck. You just put the TA mid into the puck. Kotl and Doom perhaps offlane, Shadow Shaman, or Kotl plus something on the safe lane, and you don't even have to go now for a big carry on the safe lane. You can pick anything versus the Lycan. You can go for something like a Tide Hunter even and have a decent lane.
And that is a key. I think we already saw that once today with Mind Games and the Lycan. You can't let this hero get out of control. One problem right now is they don't have the best control form. The Mars is still in. I think that would be kind of cool, as you're saying, like sort of a hero that's not necessarily big on the damage of traditional carry, but who has a little bit more control. Kanka would have been great too. That's a really good ban.
Both the Kanka and Bristle. Bristle perhaps less control, but these kind of frontliners that don't care about Lycan.
Classic combo with a coddle too, with the double quills would have been pretty neat.
By the way, this hero Bristleback is not played enough with the Eggs Rush. The amount of damage that deals.
That's all I've seen. I've been so fruitful in my Bristleback cast. I've cast like 4 or 5 times already this year. Yeah, he's and they keep just rushing Eggs. I'm just keeping like, ooh, that is scary. He's just snotting everywhere. He looks like my 2-year-old.
Is it like some SCA or where did you see it? Where did you see it?
I saw it in Europe. I definitely saw some in Western Europe as well. So I'm getting the Bristle games.
I didn't catch too many Bristle games, but man, that axe plus 600-700 damage per hit seems legit. Why not?
Picking up that juicer. What do you think about this, Lizard?
Obviously on the greedier side, right? Does give you some of that late game potential. But TA can be pretty solid here, right? If you get that first rush, first stages early on, like you should be able to really close out the map against the Medusa. I'll just say that it looks extremely greedy, but it kind of does throw the ball on outsiders to rethink, okay, do we have enough? Is this it? Can we now commit into some semi-carry as not even a carry, like a Tide or something like that we were talking about earlier?
Well,
that is interesting.
What are you looking for them to pick up then to counter into this Medusa? Because they need something. Do they need the tempo here, or can they go something that almost outscales?
Yeah, I think that's the big question. Is like it's not even so much the hero. It's like what kind of a timing do we want to play? Or like what are we lacking? Like let's say we want to play fast right now. What do we have? We have decent Roche control between our vision from the Templar Assassin plus her damage. We have the wards. Their main initiation is a little bit weak. It's really only Doom. I think that like AoE control is their big issue at the moment, but I also don't really feel like they can just chrono. I feel like that's pretty risky.
Yeah. Not a lot of like you could build an axe perhaps on this Kotl if he's a 4 or something like that, but I completely agree. They're lacking these stuns and
All right, I
proper
got an Underlord.
initiation.
Underlord.
Monkey King.
It would
I would have loved something fat, like some Underlord tied, big chunky boy up front,
Hmm.
not caring. I think this is a bit harder to. Oh wait, it's GPK
Oh, it's
Kotl.
Yamich. Yeah, so they are committing
Okay.
for the coddle.
It's interesting. Talk me through that then, Trent. Why do you think they've made that decision?
Because I think that they do need to play fast. I think that any sort of a carry situation with their lineup was looking kind of weird. Like we talk about how they're like missing AoE control and everything and like forcing team fights. So if you get to this mid game and things are even, them starting fights just looks ugly. And what's their counter initiation plays? Just with their 4 heroes ignoring the monkey at the end. It was kind of nothing. So this like last pick had to do so much if you wanted to fight on like fair ground in the mid game. So instead they just say, all right, what have they done with this pivot to the Medusa? They've sort of weakened their own early game a little bit, right? So like let's try and focus more on that. Let's try and just like dominate the lanes in the early parts, get a little bit of a lead, knock down their towers with the shaman, and then just go for kills. And like you can't defend your towers if everyone's dead. So they have a lot of vision and they have weak AoE still overall, but they do have really strong just like individual pickoffs. So I think Outsiders are looking to have like a 6K lead at like 20 minutes.
Lizard, it's going to be a lot of pressure Navi are going to have to absorb this game. Do you think they can take the heat?
Well, Doom can bring that heat. He can doom the V-Tune Medusa, right, and alleviate the pressure a little bit by doing that exact thing. Afterwards, I believe you can deal with everyone else. Kotl here, he's going to feel kind of difficult to play too. You're playing into a puck, into a clock. There's a lot of catch potential. Force staff is a must, but like Trent said, 20-minute mark. If they're not 6K ahead, Medusa already has a Skadi and Manta.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, can with this monkey pick, Outsiders leap their way into a game 3, or will Navi run away with it? We're going to find out with Avo and SeekNStrike.
Thank you, big champs. We did it. We have game 2 between Navi and Outsiders, and this time the roles have swapped a little bit because the team to go for the hyper carry that's gonna supposedly carry them late game will be Navi. What did you think of the Dusa pick, Richie?
Dusa to me is kind of one of these heroes that's in a bit of a weird place right now. Just real quick, because we did miss it on the program feed. SeekNStrike did get his Observer dewarded here, so that's a little bit of a loss. He had planned to put that down there to, I don't know, scout the Monkey King, scout the lanes, maybe snipe a courier. So a little bit of an advantage here for Outsiders. Dusa, the Dusa pick is interesting. It's a safe pick, I think, for me, especially because it's not one you can really buff too well with the Lycan, because you can only, I believe, split shot off of your ranged attacks, and when you are Wolf Bit, it turns you into a melee hero, so you lose the passive. So you don't have that incredible scaling, but you do still have Dusa late game, which is still pretty darn good. Last time I checked. Yamich is going to make it out here. The Wolves will block him only a bit, so he'll be A-okay. But I think the most interesting thing is that Navi do persist, make that Outsiders do persist and decide to run this Coddle mid. So they're going to try and hit them with a little bit of a tempo lineup. And that's where I think this puck is really going to be able to shine. Lizard was talking about this a lot in this phase as well as in the last draft, about this puck tiny opener. We can see the tiny just easily flex to the 4, and no one still has a really strong lane over in the mid. So this might be another game where no one just gets an amazing start and kind of runs over the game. We'll see if Outsiders can try and hold them back.
Yeah, we'll see how well GPK can deal with this. Because it's not just the puck, of course, it's also the Clockwork and eventually the Tiny with the Blink Dagger. Hell, even the Lycan, if he has Shapeshift, can run down the the Cuddle. So to a degree, the Cuddle seems like not the best mid pick, right? But at the same time, Cuddle is very good as mid as against the Dusa, because she's a very static hero. And so you can just blast her and blast her and blast her, and not much you can do, right? So I think that's their solution to a degree against the Dusa. They have a lot of single target with the TA as well, and they actually will be able to kill Dusa first, which has been the strategy by a lot of Eastern European teams. Actually, Betpoom does this a lot, where like you actually single her out first, and then the rest of her team tries to defend her, and they're not used to playing that way, and they often get surprised by doing that. So that might be the proposition by Outsiders. I do think it's going to be a really difficult game for GPK, so it's really up to him how well he can play this.
And that certainly can work this game, because gone are the days of like 4 protect 1. This is a Dusa that doesn't have a save. She's got maybe a toss, which could be good enough, but it's no Oracle, it's no Dazzle. It's not like a super amazing save. SeekNStrike is suffering slightly here to the Meld Strikes in the lane, but more or less okay on the 0 armor hero. But yeah, I mean, maybe that is some way, especially with the early pressure that this Coddle, along with a Solar Bind, and probably still that Vessel can try and just overwhelm this Medusa before she can get off a Stone Gaze or something. That
Yeah,
can
exactly.
certainly be. Another weakness here of this Navi lineup is I think Solo's lane is incredibly hard here.
What, Solo's it? Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what the Monkey King does. Like, I do think that the idea from outsiders is pretty strong. I just feel like if Navi just shifts their win condition into the puck, this kind of solves a lot of issues, you know? You just play on the puck more so than you play on the Dusa. Dusa will still be strong and still like get a lot of aggro. Because you have puck and Lycan that can both scale, you're kind of okay with this. So even if the lane in Dusa is not the greatest, even if her early game is not the greatest, even if she always has threats, as long as puck can kind of be free this game, you're fine. Yep. Secure his runes, rotate more, try to kill the Coddle early, ideally, and make him stacks, whatever it is. Make no one fat. That's the play, in my opinion.
I want to quickly draw attention to something we saw DM do. He went and left the lane for about one full wave, not too bad, and that's so he could go and devour a creep. He does eventually find one of the Satyr, I believe that's a Mind Flayer, which did get nerfed.
Mind Stealer.
Mind Stealer? Mind Flayer?
Mind Flayer is the Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been watching a little bit too much for that. But it's the small guy in the Satyr camp, right? And they did actually nerf the mana aura on him. So
they did.
So that is
still kind of broken, though.
Still really good, for sure. But I'm eager to see how this is actually going to affect Doom in this lane. It's kind of the ideal target, this Dusa, for the mana burn, right? Because obviously you burn double. It's so good against her. I shouldn't have to explain that for a shield, a hero that has mana shield, right? But we'll see how often he actually gets to spam this.
Yes, I mean, the lane is just probably the best laning creep in general, Dusa or not, right? So it's just, this creep is kind of ridiculous. The Mono Regen Aura also allows Monkey King to go for maybe even the Primal Spring build, which is more popular in Monkey King support. Because that, first of all, it gives you vision, so it's better, but also it actually deals a ridiculous amount of damage, so you might be able to actually threaten Dusa or Clock.
And this is like a position for Monkey that because his off-laning partner is a Doom, who farms incredibly efficiently with Midas and Devour, he can actually farm a little bit, right? And maybe get an item to herself. So it's not just going to be gold going away. Solo, however, they might just catch him here. He's still pretty speedy and ought to be able to outrun Yamich, who does have a Tree Dance, but no Primal Spring here for a kill. At least he does steal the Bounty Rune, but no kill here so far. Still no first blood, 4.5 minutes now.
Yep. I mean, you're on point, though, with the Monkey comment. Like, he is the hero that, when you play him as 5, you maybe see, like, a Mage Slayer. That's the ultimate item he gets, right? Something like that. But when you play him as 4, you're expecting some big items on him. Atos was very popular for a while. Orchid is popular as well, but something that actually can initiate. And so you initiate from the trees. That was very popular, maybe 2-3 patches ago. Still viable, though. And I think that's the name of the game for this game. Particularly because I can't see anyone besides the support stealing with a puck. You're never going to doom the puck unless he's stunned beforehand. So it has to be either the Hex or the Monkey King with Boundless Strike from Shadows that catches this puck. And that's what outsiders need to do. If they deal with the puck, I feel like the game is much easier for them.
Plus, Ramses can do this to a degree if he decides to deviate into the Ag Scepter build. Haven't seen a whole lot of carry TAs do that recently, though. So Yamich, I forget what the item is, but if you buy one item on a support Monkey King, I think it's like a Falcon Blade or something. Like, it gives you just enough damage with max Primal Spring to Primal Spring the wave, jump back into a tree, and then Boundless Strike it, and then you nuke the waves up until like 30 minutes with that quick ability. And that allows you to like really easily and quite safely split push. Versus a Puck and Tiny and a Clock, it's still difficult, but you're kind of the only one on your team that can do it. So that can be something for outsiders if they need to make a little bit of extra space in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just go like Orchid, though, like, that solves it, right? Because that gives you enough damage.
Sure.
If Falcon Blade does it, I presume the Orchid will as well, right? I think that is the build this game, by the way. I'm a big fan of the Orchid Monkey build as 4.
Mid lane, first power rune here is going to be snagged by no one, as they do actually rotate on over Swedenstrong. The ward, however, by GPK picks this up, so he doesn't put himself in peril. And not like he really cares much about the power runes. Anyway, he's not rotating until he gets to BOTs. First blood, though, is still for no one.
Yeah, he gets it on the top lane. DM dies, and we're going to get no one taking advantage of this. He could have tried to kill the Coddle, but needed some rotation for that. Instead, they just go for the easier kill on DM, delay his Midas. And killing a Doom is super impactful early, because of course you'll see the Death Gold, but on top of that, you lose the Devoured Creep. The bonus gold doesn't get applied. So, slowing down the Midas, big deal. It's also partially the reason why, you know, the offlane Doom is not as popular. Each region has put him down one position, right? In EU, he used to be a mid laner, now he's an offlaner. Most regions, they just play him as 4.
That Midas is going to be very crucial for DM. I've seen a couple of games where Dooms have been forced to skip it when the other lanes are kind of going poorly and collapsing. Luckily for him, seems like he'll be able to get that Midas online A-okay.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that. You need to scale as the Doom. And then more importantly, because Coddle and TA are such abusive resource hogs, you need someone that can create resources, and Midas and Devour both do that. So he's a good hero to pair with them, actually.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
DM. I don't know about this play. Actually, Coddle's coming by.
Coddle.
They have a chance here to go for solo, but they want to go for the big one. It's Vatoon. As they're charging on the Blinding Light. Sorry, the solar... The Illuminate. The Blinding Light's still available, though, as he did use that Spirit form, but didn't put Vatoon back, which means GPK won't be able to get that kill. No one rotation also makes this a bit harder, but it's a defensive rotation here. And they seem to be committing to Vatoon here. Once again, Blinding Light is still pushing back. There's Illuminate charge. Can they Blinding Light him? They don't quite. They wanted to get it in front of him, but they pushed him to the side instead.
Yep. Oops, it happens. What are you going to do? In the meantime, both of the supports are very eager to immediately get some experience in the mid lane. You know, when the mid laners are away, the supports will play, or so they say. So you can see them even using a couple of abilities on each other. No one interested in going for a kill. Does not have the coil, so he's going to have to do this here just with the damage. But GPK, of course, with bots and just superior move speed, has also joined this brawl in the mid lane. And the only thing to die is actually going to be no one's courier, of all things.
Yeah, I guess when you play Puck, right, Courier's gonna die a couple of times. That's
that happens.
The thing. Yeah. The bottom lane, Laze is about to finish up the Helm of the Dominator, by the way. And that's gonna be a huge power spike. TA probably not able to deal with this. This is the question whether they rotate the Doom down bottom and TA goes top. Probably the better option. GPK going for Vatoon again.
They're trying.
Oh no! The Blinding Light made them miss the stun, and Vatoon will be able to survive as a result. It was only level 1 stun, so I think he would have been fine no matter what.
Yeah, almost certainly, right? And this is the second time that GPK goes top. These are like efficient rotations, right? Because he does have BOTs and whatever, he's all over the map. But it's still, in a small way, a little bit of time wasted. I believe Vatoon now, he's got the message loud and clear, 5x5. He is not showing in the top lane anymore, otherwise a Coddle is going to show up. Very annoying for him. He would just like to farm, and so far does not have the opportunity. Down bottom, I just quickly wanted to comment that Laze, yeah, even though Wolves do not need any armor, the item build up here of Helm is certainly very beneficial versus your lane against the TA. Now that he's got the item fully online, what's his first creep here? Oh, he's got even the best one, right? Found himself the Dark Soul Summoner. He'll be able to pretty quickly boot this TA out of lane. That might just be Ramsey going. Yeah, GPK, once again, he sees any enemy in this top lane, and he's immediately going for the kill.
This time it will work out. This time they pound the strike first. It's like, I'll wait for you, Yamich. Good cogs, though. No way. Look, that's a bunch of waste time by GPK, though.
Man.
Puck is actually catching up to him in terms of farm, and he didn't go for Boots of Travel, so he has more effective farm, per se.
Yeah.
They're actually going to find Hakoda here.
Yeah, and that's an easy kill. Avatos is extremely simple there. Even the tower giving him a high five. Well done there. A little bit of BM. That's my tier 1 tower. Why are you high-fiving him? And that's Witchblade now completed for no one. He is also the richest hero in the game. I feel like you don't see this too much, or you're not supposed to anyway, when you have a Coddle mid.
No, you're not. That's what I was just commenting on, right? And again, Coddle mid is deceptive as that work, because travels don't really count. Ramses the target. They're pushing their creeps inside the crevices, but Laze, he's trying to control the zoo. Laze realizing maybe TA is not the easiest kill. They're going to go for Coddle instead, but Coddle's being protected by the Monkey King, and if it's solo, will die first. They send away the Tiny. GPK barely healing enough, but those creeps will get to him. As Navi, they get a mid laner, but in exchange they lose both their supports.
Not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. They also heavily still continue to disrupt Ramsey's farm. They would have liked to get, obviously, both of those cores, and obviously if the support dies, that's even better, right? Because then we get solo experience as cores. Hell yeah, boys. But unfortunately, they are going to be repulsed away from that first kind of siege. The thing is, if you do get both cores, you end up getting that tier 1 tower as well. And now you're going to have to spend a little bit more time and resources in trying to take that down. In the meantime, once again, GPK sees a Medusa top lane, and he's like St. Patrick. He needs to get the snake out from the top lane. And Vatoon is actually going to stick around and fight him. As is SeekNStrike, a little bit harder now that he's doomed, but it's going to be GPK who's silenced and simply killed off for this. This man, he does not like this Medusa.
Yep, and the Doom could be the next one, actually. They set up this Wukong's command, hoping to protect him. Solo might die as a result, but SeekNStrike, his Doom just ended, and they're happy to just walk inside those monkeys. In fact, Dreamcoil misses, so Yamich is capable of making it out. But they kill the Doom. He now has Midas, so it's not as bad, but it's still 2 cores there for Navi.
Yeah, that's extremely painful, because like I was just saying, how Navi've got to go back bottom. Now Outsiders have got to go back top for like the 5th time, it feels, and try and get that tower. Doom doesn't push the fastest, you know, compared to, well, especially a Lycan this game, right? But certainly, you'd almost, he probably should have the tower by the 10-minute wagon. But it's these failed ganks top lane that have drawn a lot of attention from Navi, that have kept this tower alive. Here goes Lays in the meantime back down bottom. Oh, he's already gotten the tower, pardon me.
Yeah, they have. And they're just trying to secure this for Lycan, because the Lycan soloing is good enough to take the tower, right? So by playing on the top side of the map and playing around Vatoon, even though it does slow down his farm, it shows the recognition that it once again isn't Vatoon the sole win condition. Later on, he'll recover and he'll still be useful, but early you want to play around the puck, and to a certain degree the Lycan.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not all bad news either here, right, for Outsiders. I would be remiss if I did not bring up how strong the Roche taking potential is this game, right? It's really good even right now, but they just need a tier 1 tower or 2 before they can really go for the play, because while they can certainly do it and easily, it's not the fastest, and Navi, they fight pretty scary around the Roche pit here. Dream Coil, eventually a Blink Tiny, right? Even just hook shot early on could be enough to thwart a Roche attempt, let alone a Rocket Flare. So yeah, it's a little scary here for Outsiders, but they always have that card they can pull off of even a small pickoff, right? Onto the right hero, it's immediately Roche in their pocket.
Exactly. And of course that's the strength of the TA as well. Like that's, you know, tit for tat. Whereas Navi, they made some space for Lycan to take solo tower and for Puck to kind of scale off these kills. TA was free farming the whole time, so at least Ramses does have the farm he's looking for. And this time he's not on Terrorblade, so it's not going to be as impactful, but he can still be the tempo setter for this game. At the expense of GPK, though, who has been sacrificed a little bit in this early game as a result.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking so good. He's about to be actually overtaken now by Lays in terms of net worth for the cores that are farmed. And that is not where a Coddle really wants to be. 0, 2, and 2 decided to go for a Ghost Scepter here before finishing off the Vessel, which is not the craziest of things. I wonder if he's going to try and go for a full E-Blade, or if he's not going to ignore the, or sorry, if he's not going to upgrade the Vessel is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Vessel against Dusa is useful, but you don't have the best target beside that. I guess both supports, it's okay.
Tiny,
against Lycan, it's okay.
Yamich is breaking smokes in the meantime by jumping around in the trees.
Because I feel like as Coddle, getting the E-Blade will protect you against the Lycan, and that's maybe more important. Because Lycan's getting scary. Once he gets the Helm of the Overlord, Coddle feels like food.
Oh, and here they go. They're just gonna go for Roche. This feels a little risky. They have a ward up, but it's immediately taken down, and that would rattle my confidence here if I were Outsiders.
Yamich. Oh, there's a toss. Yamich actually setting up Wukong's command, but can't because of the battery assault. Roche will be finished, maybe not. It's stolen by Solo! Oh, the Dream Coil on top of the sit, and then there's the Stone Gaze from Medusa, hoping to reinitiate this fight. Hakona's been cleared by Lays. They're going for the TA. She's been silenced. No refraction either. Ramses is done for. DM couldn't even get his Doom off. They're high-fiving him as he's trying to run away, but Lays is body blocking with the Wolves. DM, he's not going to be saved here. It's just a matter of time, trying to create space for his Coddle to run away.
GPK?
GPK has been caught here. They didn't get the Witchblade hit, though, so he's going to be able to TP. And DM will finally die here.
Yeah, toss. Yeah, they throw Solo on it. I mean, that's the proper way to end that fight, I would say. He certainly deserves it. Like I said, I would not feel confident going into that Roche pit as soon as you lose vision. Not against the Clockwork, not against the Puck. Even the Dusa showing up and making a pretty big difference, right? Vatuni, he just pops the Stone Gaze and then basically tosses a snake and goes back to farming. So he's not even wasting any time here. And I mean, it's just going to continue snowballing. Navi, they're going to throw a monkey out from under the trees. A great silence as well. Yamich is still alive, trying to avoid his death there, but will still fall. SeekNStrike is going to take a death here in exchange, though. So it's 1-for-1 so far with Solo in a bit of a precarious situation. However, Solarbind not ready, so he's not going to take too much bonus damage from that urn, and he'll simply walk it off.
And once again, like the Vitun is acknowledging his position in this game, right? As like he used to be able to fight these fights early. Obviously, that was a great fight to take no matter what. But like him being ready to begin with, farming in proximity to his team, making sure he can always engage, acknowledging they have to deal with the tempo by just bunching up his 5 because they do have really good team fight on Navi. Something that once again Outsiders is a little bit missing. Great single target, not so great AOE. Coddle only deals damage. That's the best tool you really have.
Yeah, Coddle, at one point, he did. He committed for the 4-staff here. I guess that's just Coddle to GPK, 4-staff on Coddle, which is...
You need it, man. First you deal with the Clockwork, then the Puck, and then the Lycan in that order. That's the goal of GPK as he slowly builds up to being a hero.
I agree, but the issue, it's not a game that feels great for a 4-staff either, right? For 2 reasons. It's great versus Clockwork, great versus Medusa. No arguments there, Your Honor. No. However, all right, I object because no one has Dream Coil, and that is a terrible thing when you build
Lycan just chases you.
And Lycan, yeah, he doesn't care. He kind of just laughs. He's a dog, right? He enjoys running a little bit further.
Yeah. All right, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Ghost Center for Lycan, 4-staff for Clock. Now you just need the one for the Puck, I suppose. It's just that we knew it was going to be a tough game for GPK. I thought GPK was seeing something here that both us and the panel didn't. Clearly not really, right? Like, he just needs to itemize for this game. At least he does have the TA.
Yeah, and he's acknowledging the reality of the game, right? He's not just like, I'm going to go Vessel and Dakin, and I'm going to stomp this game, because obviously that's not how it's going. 0, 2, and 3 so far. Pretty brutal game. He's scared out of his mind now. He didn't get outside of the Rocket Flare.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. 4-staff. Oh, he already 4-staff. Oh, Avo, it's a disaster. Look, I mean, he's just having fun with it now at this stage.
Yep.
That's good.
Dream Coil as well. They found Hakoda. No one. Oh, from behind. Waiting Rift. There you go, he's dead.
Man,
Can they find the Monkey King
Shaman
too?
even ice bombed him.
Oh wow.
Brutal.
Pretty good for pushing towers, right? So that's the name of the game for them right now. We have Shapeshift, so they could fight. The best tool they have to control in this Lycan is just jumping on him in the beginning of the fight, but I think now it's harder.
Yeah,
the drum's also completed.
Shackles down. I mean, even with Shackles, it's such a tough game.
Oh, Doom?
Navi, they just have the heroes, and once again, they found DM. Can't quite kill him.
Laze does not want to commit.
He's got a Dispel for himself. Oh, now we won't be able to do it, though, as he has been doomed and falling quickly inside the Wukong's command. First to fall, though, is DM, as chasing after Vitun is Ramses, the Clockwork, to interrupt them, and the toss as well, making a little bit of space here. Is Vitun actually going to get away? No.
Okay.
Infused Raindrops will not save him. The Illuminate at last will put an end to this Medusa's life. GPK, you can die happy now. He's killed Medusa.
Sweet and Strong will be killed by GPK as well. You know, double revenge here for him, as the Illuminate will finish him off. And even though we're solo ace, Ramses wants to punish him for that stealing of the Aegis, and he will get it. A nice little recovery here for Outsiders. Now they're getting a little bit too cocky. Once again, the crux of their drafts continues to be the Puck. Well, Shapeshift is a nuisance, but it's the Puck, right? And killing him so early in the fight, not acknowledging the strength, of course, of the Shadow Shaman. Any hero can be vulnerable to this. Ends up netting a really nice fight for Outsiders. Yeah. Well played by them. A little bit overzealous by Navi, though.
Yeah, that wasn't even a buyback on the Shaman. I thought it must have been a buyback because you're diving past a tier 2 tower. Enemies still have their outposts at TP. Like, there are many points where a Shaman can just easily sneak into that fight and find a Hex into the Shackles, which spells disaster for no one. And we clearly saw it there. No one is going to look to amend that problem here by building up that Lincoln Sphere. He's committed already for the Ultimate Orb. He can still turn this into a Scythe of Ice if he wants to, so he's not yet committed one way or the other. But I assume he is going to go for the more reliable item in the Lincoln Sphere, just to make sure he can't get instantly killed.
On Puck, you mean, right?
On Puck, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I agree. I think inside the Vice, though, since you mentioned that item, would be pretty good on Coddle after the E-Blade gets done. I don't think there's a place for Vessel anymore this game, even with Medusa. Because again, she's not your main concern. But Vice will help a lot. Especially because Monkey King has not been able to go for Atos, Orchid, or anything. He's just BKB just for survival. This does not feel like a 4 Monkey, Richie. It just feels like 2 5s. You're playing with 2 5s, really.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a 10, but it's really 2 position 5s.
Supports. Yeah, no, she's a 10, but just 2 supports in a,
it's two
large
supports in a
jacket.
trench coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, and now this is like Navi. Oh, we should have gotten the tower before we did the last. Oh, all right, there we go.
That was the problem. Yeah.
That's a really good siege here. They're gonna go for more, but Toon feels strong, and he should, right? Because he's got Eye of Scotty now fully completed. Next into Butterfly, and that's a. I mean, that's not a terrible. It's a good item. But what I mean is, obviously, this has ramifications mainly for Ramses, right? Who's purely a physical damage carry, and is going to have to amend this by building an MKB. PA, not the worst hero to build an MKB. Would probably rather go for like a Daedalus early. Like there are other items she would want, but not the worst thing. As you can see, Daedalus queued up. But I think as soon as Ramses sees that Butterfly, he's gonna have to change it.
I agree. I feel like MKB, like you said, it's okay on TA. Gives you some mixed damage, which is nice as well. Oh, it's not really that nice. There's nothing here to mix damage with, but you know, it's a point to be made.
Well, it does. It's the magic damage, right, on that little proc. 75.
Yeah, but there's nobody that's like a big armor hero, right? Like if it was a TB or a Naga, it'd be more relevant against Deuces.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, you know, you're happy to have it, right?
I'm just grasping at straws for Ramses, who's struggling
you know,
to find it.
Medusa's got 60% physical resist. She only has 25 magic, so you know that's
for those small MKB procs, it's really gonna matter.
It really ends up, Avo. Just you wait.
Ramses is trying to take the mid tower. That's gonna open up the map a little bit for them, so they can actually get their own ganks in. And especially after the fight bottom, they're actually in a position where they can initiate now. BKB on Ramses as well, still 9 seconds. Good team fight, and they could turn this around. Oh, unless Monkey King dies. Oh, Hex, actually, SeekNStrike could be in trouble himself. Went a bit too far. They even commit the Stone Gaze for this. Buyback immediately, however, shapeshift from behind, looking to hunt down the Coddle, decides to go for the Shaman instead. E-Blade will save him though, and Shaman is still alive. Doom the Dusa as well. Hakoda will die to the puck overall. As the TA, Coil breaks, they toss her back. The Doom is not doing anything to this Dusa. Ramses is dead. DM fell behind him, and GPK is trying to outrun a bunch of screaming Navi heroes lusting for his life. Hakoda will be the target instead. This is an easier kill, and also a dieback for them. Oh, unless?
Good blank. Solo, he's going to give chase, though, with the vision. No TP scroll available. It's only a matter of time. As Hakoda, he can't even evade there, unfortunately for him. The illusory orb of no one. And that is a fight where the Doom does get off, but crucially, Vatoon gets enough damage in. He kind of starter steps the Doom, right, with a nice Manta style. That is one way where you can kind of delay the Doom from coming out. Doesn't get off any extra spells, but it's just more auto attacks. It's making sure he at least gets the Manta illusions to start stacking up. And, like, I mean, man, that is just such a feels bad fight there for outsiders.
I will say, I feel like the DM Doom on the Dusa after the Stone Gaze. I can see your logic about them stopping the Manta and stuff like that, but it just doesn't feel like that was enough. I don't know if that was really like the target for it. I mean, I guess Puck is impossible now because of the Lincolns, but Dusa feels like he just fought through it and it was fine.
Yeah. I think the thing that really feels terrible here is, for Ramses especially, is Ramses, well, he can fight, especially when he's got BKB, or the threat of it, as he tears her right through SeekNStrike alongside GPK. But the issue there was... BKB. Yeah. Oh, does he not?
No, it's still on cooldown.
That's still on cooldown.
You're still in the last patch, Richie. Your internal clock needs to get fixed.
I apologize, right? But Vatoon, he's just such a hard counter. Like, you can't look at the Dusa when she's Stone Gaze, and that feels awful for Ramses, because he's still incredibly vulnerable to a Puck, right? Can't really get on top of this Puck hero. Puck then with the coil is super annoying. Hold that thought evenly. He's in a bit of trouble. Turning around, actually. Feeling pretty strong here? I don't know about this one.
Not sure. Okay. Stone Gaze was committed to save the Clockwork, it seems like. As they also kill off Hakoda. Hakoda is a crucial part of their team fight. Now who stops the Puck?
Oh, Coil as well is going to only catch the Monkey King. Ramses in a bit of a weird spot. Has Blink, has BKB. It's going to blink away before the refraction charges end, but can do nothing to save his Monkey King. Yeah, and I think that the Stone Gaze is actually to save no one, because Hakoda was threatening perhaps for a shackle. That's a great hook shot here. However, onto Ramses, the fight will continue. DM counter initiating there. Oh, but Solo activating. The Essence Ring still alive. He's going to erect the cogs. The Doom here is for Vatoon. Prevents the Amanta from coming through, but they still get through Ramses all the same. Ladies, in the meantime, is going to fall. DM activates his BKB to TP away, but still Vatoon with the physical damage. No, not quite enough, at least for now. And it's going to be GPK and DM both making it out of the fight, but they still lose Ramses.
Man, I don't know what Solo has been doing recently, but he is cracked this time. is incredible. Between the Aegis steal, I mean, this game he's playing out of his mind, but I feel like the whole season, so he came out of retirement to show these new school kids of EEU how it's really done. What plays he's making, honestly.
Yeah. Don't get killed by Roche now, Solo. Stand outside of that pit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Don't make me look bad. But I feel like once the Shaman is dead, the puck is free to do whatever he wants, and we really need a solution to that. The Shaman being 5 makes it really difficult, though, because you can't really itemize. I was hoping Monkey King would do that. I don't think the BKB is going to do anything for Yamich. It'll keep him alive, but that's it.
I was kind of hoping DM would maybe spec into like a Scythe of Ice, or
Oh, he's
I don't
going
know, it's
Shivas.
like, he's going Shivas. I mean, he needs the armor, I understand, but I don't know, maybe like a Force Staff, something to break Lincoln so you can at least threaten the Doom onto this hero, because you're right, we need something else, right? Do they have themselves, oh, they do, they have a Fey Grenade. Okay, so he doesn't need to go Lincoln's. Fey Grenade does break Lincoln Sphere. It's the only neutral item other than the tier 5s that actually will do so. So that is useful for Doom. So please ignore my points on Force Staff. He doesn't need one. So I'm not too opposed then to the Shiva Scar. I think it's okay.
I would still like a Scythe, though.
I
feel
still
like Scythe would be more.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I think every hero wants a Scythe, really. It's a good item.
That is true.
Ramses, he's going to be tossed outside of his base. That is most unpleasant for him, especially because Solo's here. And yeah, he's just going to cancel that TP. Ramses gets off another stack of the refractions. He's going to try and get through Solo, but can't even get through outside of the cogs. And that is just a free kill there. SweetNStrike, he's looking for another. He's going to toss the lifeless corpse of Hakoda back to Vitude. That's only going to power him up as they activate the drums and go to war.
Yeah, corpses are Vitude's specialty. He really likes those. As he starts to push down these racks. Gonna be one lane at least.
Oh, another one!
Oh, he found an old man!
Oh, it was even
and now he found a
faster!
corpse.
Another one, SweetNStrike. More! Ole!
Yeah, he's been a better initiator than anything that outsiders have, and all Vitude has to do is keep A-clicking the ground. He's doing a great job of it. Look at that. Look at him A-clicking those racks.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic gameplay.
Lays as well. He presses the drums button, and he sends that ancient black dragon to work.
Hey, he has to micro the dragon to A-click the
GG,
ground.
they
There we
call
go.
it. Yeah, I mean, another just great showing by Navi. This one I would definitely say Outsiders much better shot in. Even especially that tier 2 fight looked amazing for them. Everything's stringing together perfectly there as they're able to catch the puck. And then, of course, no one immediately rectifies that issue with Lincoln's. And Navi just, they never look back from there, really.
Yeah, it did feel like the draft. I mean, I don't know. It was a combination of things, right? This time, I wouldn't target like one specific lane that went like badly and that made the draft not work. I think the conception of the draft was a difficult one to begin with, particularly with the Coddle mid. There was a lot of reliance on Coddle will somehow be able to outplay these fools, and I don't know how that was going to happen. GPK is great. But it's just he had a terrible matchup, and with Coddle being denied, as his Space Creator gone, you needed someone to be shoving lanes for the Doom and the Dusa to get online. Sorry, the Doom and the TA. And even though TA got a pretty good early game, the control for her afterwards was so big. And there's something that we saw in both games for Outsiders. It felt like they don't draft Teamfight, and without Teamfight, not only does your play have to be impeccable, you can pretty much not make any mistakes, because the moment you start losing, there's no way for you to catch back up, no force multiplier. But on top of that, your core has to play like a god, like has to avoid all the initiations, get super early BKB. It's really difficult for Ramses to play these games.
And your core has to also, well, your mid laner in this case, right, has to deliver on their ganks. GPK went top lane 3 times in an attempt to kill 4 different heroes, and none of them panned out. Maybe that's not his fault entirely alone. That's perhaps a little bit unfair. Doom and a Monkey King, not the greatest enablers, right, for a Coddle. But if that wasn't going to work, how else was Coddle going to have any effect in this game, right? I mean, he gets the urn, doesn't upgrade it, goes for a Force Staff defensively. Like, there were immediately so many problems, and just no plan Bs here, really, for Outsiders, other than just hoping for miracles. And unfortunately, that was not the case here. Solo, I want to highlight, as, I mean, blew me away, blew us away. Aegis Steal, always in position to get these great hook shots, farming away. He actually built a Solar Crest. When's the last time you've seen that item, just to help his Deuce out even more? I think he's cracked. He's looking amazing this season so far.
I agree. He's been doing a fantastic job, and especially after seeing, we got to cast him a lot in Division 2 EU, and it felt like his soul had just been taken out of his body. No pun intended there. And it feels like now he's just revived, and it's wonderful because you always know he's a good, capable player. If you've proved it once, it's not like you just lose it afterwards. But the question is, can you find that motivation? Can you find that passion? And it feels like he's found it again, and this team is just doing really, really well. So it's nice to see the older generation still fighting back for their desired throne. And I can't wait to hear from Navi as well. We're going to probably have an interview when we come back. But before that, we will have a panel. And before that, we'll have a break. So stay tuned for that, guys, as we take a small 3-minute break, come back with a panel to break down this game, and then a wonderful interview with one of the Navi players.
Get you a team who can do both, with Navi picking up the Game 2 victory there on the other side of a 4-Protect 1 draft. Lizard, talk me through what went so right for Navi there.
And they protected the 4 of them.
They protected
Together,
the one.
they protected the one really, really well. What didn't go right for them? I really think that it's sort of a situation in which outsiders shot themselves in the leg a little bit. Like, you're playing versus a clock versus a puck. You're still deciding to put the Kotl on the mid lane. The hero cannot do a lot. How surprised are we? Pikachu face right here.
Yeah.
Like, you're forced into that 4-staff. You have to build it. It's not bad on Kotl. You can build it in any other games. In most other games, it's just the fact that you do not have that extra oomph impact, right? That you usually would like to, with a lot of magic reduction plus a Dagon, something like that. You're constantly on the aggression. However, I have to say that Navi played really well around that first rush, specifically, because it's something that you need to take away from that TA and from TA plus Kotl. If it went in a different way, I believe it could have been a bit harder. Still, though, it's so hard to break Medusa early on. Trent, what did we say? 20, 25 minutes, Manta Skadi. What did we get? 20, 25 minutes, Manta Skadi.
And they definitely did not have a 6K lead at 20 minutes for Outsiders. That is for sure. I saw 20 minutes, the game was like even, and then the Roche fight happens, and I was like, well, you know, Outsiders, you tried to beat the clock, and they most certainly did not.
It was almost a pun there as well. An interesting draft, I think, as well. It felt somewhat hopeless, I think, for Outsiders throughout that early game. Do you agree, Trent, that it didn't really feel like they could do that much? I mean, obviously they could have played better, but it didn't feel like there was moves that they could make. There was an element of inevitability in that game.
I clicked Doom and saw the Midas and called GG. I was like, no. I was like, to me, the only way they're winning this game, especially when the puck is starting off so well, is if that Doom's getting a blink or like a BKB and they're just straight up fighting. And like, I get it. Like, I know Midas doesn't slow you down that much, but to me, like, every single second counted in this first 20 minutes. And to me, Midas is just too much to take away. Unless your lanes are going like really well, and they just weren't. So Navi just they kind of just had it at that point.
Yeah, we're talking about Navi, who have it. We have an interview with No One coming up right now, which is very excited about. No One, welcome, congratulations. How are you feeling about those games?
Of course, I'm really happy because we practiced a lot, and it gives some, we're feeling good right now as a team. So it just feels good always to win games like this.
So you said you were practicing there. What sort of things were you doing to prepare for Outsiders? Was it a lot of team-specific preparing, or are you just generally trying to work on your team?
I mean, like, we all discuss about the drafts, especially Sol and our new coach, and they just. I feel like in these games, in both games, we got them outdrafted a lot. I mean, like in the first phase and the second phase, and they doesn't have the heroes to answer to us in these games.
Do you think so was it a draft win then for you? Do you think you played a lot better than them, or was it simply that you drafted a lot better and then were able to exploit those drafts to win?
It's always the both things. Even if you draft good, it doesn't means that you will win the game. You should play good. We played a very good first game. Second game we have some, mistakes, but in the end we just won, and yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your own performance. It feels like you're getting back to your best. It really feels a really impressive performance across those two games and across this season. How do you feel in yourself as a player? Are you hitting the top levels again?
I don't feel like I'm at the highest level right now, but I feel like I'm doing everything that I can to be back. And yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question. I cannot answer. Like it's always. It has no answer actually. I just played it. I just played auto practice with my team, and that's all actually. And that's the result. Sometimes it's work, sometimes it's not. Yeah.
Great. Well, that's all you can do. I'm going to hand over to Lizard then. Have you got any questions for no one?
Yeah, congrats on the win, man. Looked really strong.
Thank you.
You mentioned the coach. Is it
Yep.
some nickname that we know? Because I can't find
No,
him on Wikipedia.
I,
Is it a
I
new?
don't think so. That you know this guy. We didn't know it like before, like 2 months ago. Actually, our post 4 invited him to our team, and we all discussed about it, and we liked him a lot. Yeah.
That's really nice. Like, how did he find him? Was it some pubs or just
No,
talk to someone?
no, they work like I don't actually know the whole thing, but I hear that they worked like like he was solo coaching for the players. He was like a hunter, so he coached a lot of new players like coming up to the scene. I don't want to call the names, but I think I know that SeekNStrike, Yuragi even works with him before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I really don't know. But he wasn't like a coach for a team. He always was a solo coach for the players. Yeah,
Or
and that's
yeah, that's nice. I didn't even know that like these upcoming pro players take coaches. I thought they just spam pubs.
it's. I mean, like I feel it's not how it works. I feel like he's the one who writes to the player and trying to
Uh-huh.
improve him.
I see. I see. So he's the hunter, like you said. He's the one.
I can say I'm not sure about this, but from what I heard, yeah.
And does he help you with drafts or and
Of
only
course, of
drafts?
course.
Yeah.
No. He helps with everything, with strategy, drafts, improves or whatever, everything.
Okay. Okay. It's definitely looking great right now. Good
Thank
job
you.
to him. Yeah.
Trent, how about you?
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's
Yep.
really cool to hear that you have someone like that in the back. Is this the first time you feel like a coach has made this much of an impact on a team that you've been on?
No, of course, because like I've played with a different type of coaches. The greatest for me always will be art style, because like we become a really strong team with him, and but art style is not more about the strategy. He's more about like like to improve you, to to feel you
Mentality.
better, to gives you the power you to play, and of course he's good in the drafts, but not about the whole strategy. Like we were MVP, like a squad who decided how to play like 5 players, and our coach just help us from the side. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, obviously this was a very big win for you guys moving forward in the season, and there's 3 slots up for grabs here coming to the major, so this is
Yeah.
definitely the place that you want to be in right now. So congratulations for that once again. Now moving forward from here, is there another team that you're looking forward to playing in the division?
Actually, I want to replay with Spirits a lot,
Hmm.
because I feel like we suck in the game against them, if I can use this word, of course. But I
Yeah.
feel like we really can win them, and I want to repeat those games in a
Okay.
different way.
So get
Yeah.
tiebreakers, and you can do that, right?
No, I don't want tiebreakers, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Yeah, but every team can beat any right now, actually. So we really don't see, don't watch at opposite faction like who playing against. We don't care. We just play the game right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Right, we'll let you go in a second. Just one last question. Next week, you're coming up against Mind Games. We spoke to Arkanad from the team, and he had a lot of nice things to say about you and your team. Are you excited to come up against them? Are you going to be preparing very hard?
Of course. Every match is matters, so we just prepare like the same like we do whole DPC. As I said, it doesn't matter. It's mind game, spirit, or not, or VP. In the end, it's just a match, and you should just play the game and play good if you want to become really good.
Are they a team you're expecting to beat, or a team that you think can challenge you?
I don't think about this actually at all. I just play, as I said, I just trying to play the game.
Great. He takes it as
It-
they come.
yeah.
Okay, wonderful. We'll let you go. Thanks so much for joining us, no one. That was an excellent interview, and good luck going forwards. We look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you. Goodbye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thank you.
What a nice interview from a lovely guy, and a very impressive performance, I thought, there from NAVI. NAVI have been a squad who have had slight ups and downs. They've been shown so much of their potential before. It really feels like we're seeing that potential beginning to manifest now. Lizard, any final thoughts on their performance today?
Their performance was great. Actually, a little bit over my expectations. Even like I expected at least a 3-game series, but now I have the culprit, that shadowy figure.
Yes, I love this.
This
We
is
got a mystery on our hands.
such a storyline, man. Like we uncovered something here. It's cool, right? Like having someone like that just coaching you, that's not really even known in the scene, and it's not something that's happened for the first time in the CIS region. Like CIS teams do not shy away from just picking some random people from pubs that talk nicely, talk well about the game during their pubs, and discuss some intricacies within the game. Then they think, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. Let's try him out.
It feels like we've got a rise of that sort of coach as well across all different regions, like Immortal Faith and his work with Viking GG, and now whatever is. My mind has gone incredibly blank. His current team. He was sort of that guy. He was building up with particular players, working with them really hard one-on-one, and now he's coaching and building a whole team.
Yeah.
One of our colleagues as well, T-Gov, exactly.
Yes, exactly. I was going to say T-Gov.
He was annoying me so much in pubs, man, but obviously it worked for some people. He just talked a lot, and yeah.
Last place at TI, maybe it depends. How well you're going to class that as working. But he did do exactly the same thing, and I know Kips does a lot of that. She works with a variety of different players too, so it's always interesting to see. Any final thoughts from you, Trent?
Well, it's the season, I guess. It seems to happen every year or two. The birds return. They come back from the cold winters, and esports fans go to their closet. They dig through the pile of laundry they never do, and there it is at the bottom, shining with gold. It's their NAVI jersey. They take it out, they brush it off, and they go, "Oh, I'm such a NAVI fan." Well, they're going to be back now, so congratulations. Get them out of your closets, guys.
Well, Navi are back, and we won't be back. This is the last game for us of the day, but there's going to be more Division 2 action coming up right away with some exciting games between Eternity and KBUS. No, I don't know. There's lots more coming up. No, Negamura versus K-Cats. That's coming up. I don't follow much Division 2. I do follow a huge amount of it. I just forget all the names. But I'm excited to watch it. You should all be excited to watch it. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you very, very shortly. And that's goodbye from us.